there? Mighty Vikings, I welcome you back to Rogue Trader. It's been a while. Just as a summary, we've just finished collecting the tithe from the feudal world, heading back to report. I think we have the tithe now within custody, and yeah, let's see how the story unfolds. Let's see how Lex Imperialis, affects the new gameplay and run. I'm curious to find out what kind of incentives there are gonna be happening or changing. Permission to report, your proctor has arrested my voidsman and is demanding his execution. A repeat offender, he says. Please do something, Lord Captain. Who's the voidsman? He's one of mine. Not as big of an idiot as the rest of the others. He understands the control system. He can make sense of the readouts. Him? A repeat offender? Bring the detained man to me immediately. I will personally interrogate him. Let's see what Solomon is all about it. The dogglebugs. I think the dogglebugs are fixed. There was a big hot fix again, just recently. So the companions should work as intended. Ooh, Solomon and Glato will come in. I love this turnaround on the throne. This is so good. I wish it would be a closer camera angle on that one. Lord Captain, I beg you to look into this outrage. This cyber horror nearly chewed up my assistant. Someone waits for the end of the Master Servant's words and calmly turns to you. This crewman is a wanted man, Rogue Trader. He is accused of subverting sacred time shipments, smuggling, kidnapping the Imperium's subjects, and bribing officials. We're not on your flagship. I would have executed the heretic on the spot. But here, you are the authority, and you are the court. Why is it certain is the man you're looking for? Because I was personally involved in tracking down and purging the shadows of the Abyss crime syndicate to which the perpetrators belong. The case was in Calixis, in the worlds of Helvetia Prime, but the arbiters' time distance did not mitigate. Calixis sector is, by the way, the part where Dark Heresy will be part of, or playing. The man before you is the former captain of a smuggling ship owned by the syndicate. Check the heretical left arm. Every syndicate member had a distinctive implant of which they recognize each other. There was that implant signature that Glyto picked up on during his patrols. How did a criminal from Calixis find his way onto my ship? He was among the servants sent to you by Governor Medina. Ah. Rever, did you know about this? If I went sticking my beak into the paws of every one of the hundreds of people in the crew, I wouldn't have time to steer your ship. All I know is that when everything went to Grogshit and Ragged Minoris, this one oversaw the work of the dogs so that the fools didn't trample each other to death in their panic. And later he ran into a friend that reported a footfall, and they found us some pods within a day. He's even got arms growing out of the right places. He might make it to a junior helmsman if he keeps it up. Accused, do you have anything to say? Your lordship, the governor of Helvetica Prime was a scumbag who abhorred the light of the God Emperor. The things he did to the people under him. We only survived by stealing from him, or else we'd had ended up a corpse pit, like one of four did after a distribution station accident. But once I'd got out of there, that was it. I was out of that business for good. And when I found myself in your service, I realized that I was a gift of fate. Be a fool if I didn't repay such good fortune with my wholehearted toil. I have made my decision. I await your orders, Rogue Trader. Master Houseman shoots a look of naked dislike at Solomon. Keepable hands? What does that do? Repairing a warship requires 50% less scrap. We do not trust this mentor being in the Master's Helmsman's crew, but I cannot allow such talent to go to waste. Hand him over to the factotum. We'll find a use for him. If he speaks the truth, anyone can make terrible mistakes and should get a second chance. Robert, this talented boardsman is your responsibility. Should he commit any misdeeds henceforth, you will have to answer for them. Yes, Lord Captain. Robert's disgruntled grimace momentarily dissipates. Then this case is closed. With your permission, I will return to my duties. Interesting. Interesting little hiccup in between here. I still don't know how I want my crew to be. What constellation? It's kind of torn in between. So there's fantastic moles in there. Cruel fate, solid projectiles. Sniper rifle. Man, sniper rifles are also so good in this. Fuck me. Doggo. Is that better? Whenever the Cybermaster deals... Wait, the Cybermaster deals 150 more damage. When its protected ally dodges or parries an attack, the Cybermaster gains temporary wounds and deals 12% more damage for 1 round. Does not stack. Can be used multiple times per turn, but each subsequent use is increased by 1 AP. I mean, technically I can send him out with Protect on Kibella, because she's gonna dodge a lot. I find this what he has in installed better, because it gives me plus 15 to weapon skill and strength. I think so too. I thought that Solomon did let it slip too easily. Or maybe he just is like, okay, this is not my place to argue with the Rogue Trader, because he is the law. There. Lord Captain, urgent report. We have received an astrophatic message from Regent Orsellio. The navigators are concerned about the fate of Cassia, who disappeared from Orac 5. The Regent is requesting an update on her current status, and also required about the possibility of a personal meeting to arrange the return of that navigator to the house. The physio or psycho-emotional coding of the received message betrays acute concern, but also contains something that the astropath have failed to put into words. If you excuse my forthrightness, I feel it is necessary to tell House Orsellio the truth. Otherwise, a conflict with novice ability is possible. The House Orsellio that Cassia... Tell House Orsellio that Cassia is safe, and that the Rogue Trader would be honored to meet in person. I'll see to it, Lord Captain. The Astroport will transmit. The vessels confess to report discontent among their flock. Sanctify all chambers of the wood ship. Organize punitive processions against everyone faltering in their belief. In the warp jump. Orsellio's prophecy. So, let's have a quick look at our colonies. I'm missing cogwheels. I think. Yeah, mechanisms. I'm missing mechanisms to build them all. Wait, there's more. Janus. Janus is the same spiel. Dargonus. Restoration profit factor goes down, but we got people. Genetic mercy. The genetic purges will be stopped. This world needs working hands. Decree of diligence. Complacency goes down. Efficiency goes up. Doctrine of rationality. Efficiency go up. Shield of the Emperor. I get another escort ship. Security goes overall in all planets up. Imperial Navy goes up. Critical hit chance against pirates. Filth of the Expanse. Fellowship of the Void goes up. Security goes down. We get the Lord Captain Void ship. Scrap for winning space battles. Nah. Shield of the Emperor. Gonna do that. We get a second escort ship. That means we're gonna have a fleet of 3 ships when coming to space battles. Very good. Mundus Valensis. Let's see what Mr. Solomon and his arbites have to tell us. Off to their bonus. As always, I'm open for suggestions, ideas, what we should tackle next, etc. The Administratum. On Valensis Palace. Let's go to the Administratum first. Do you want Abelard? Well, I want Abelard. Let's bring Heinrichs. Heinrichs. Where's my Heinrichs built? There it is. So, let's load up Heinrichs really quickly. Last one was Warp Speed. We got. Now we want... Destines. The Psycho armor increases by 5%. This bonus increases at the start of every round. So the more rounds we have, the more armor the Mystery has. Oh, is it just a level? 1 level? Okay. Nobody ever hits an ally with an attack area? No. Tempest Carcass. Pooh. Excuse-moi for the sneeze. Your lordship. Petitioner, arbitrators. Here the must be. Code RT92. Greetings, Rogue Trader. That's some goods. Petition 36 Sigma. Through the efforts of the Aditas Arbites, my family estate, 12 criminals among the members of my family were terminated. The proctor in charge of the purge decreed that the bodies be left lying on the scene of the crime for further investigation. 40 planetary cycles have passed since. The heavy odor of the vermin resulting from keeping dead bodies without the ability to transport them ceases to be of concern to me. After the first 2 cycles, however, the mummified remains of the criminals prevent my estate from properly functioning at this time. I humbly request that another officer be assigned to oversee the investigation, and that it be informed of the necessity of progressing the investigation in my home. Bureaucracy. So, it takes so much time for them that the dead bodies that have been left there on the grounds... Oh my god. Imagine that there's an incident happening and the officer's like, don't touch this is a crime scene. And 42 years later, they're still there. Because cycles, I think they're talking about not moon cycles, but actually year cycles. 42 years later, the bodies are still there and the investigation is not over. Auto destruction of Aborted the Heartless. Ragged Norris. Arrived at Ragged Norris during the evacuation. took as hunter on board of the flagship. The world is to be considered null and void. A side note, damage assessment, the type recalculation urgent. Prefect inscribed vulture. There's the old lady. The shriveled insect-like old woman greets you with a keen look. Welcome back to the Temple of Law and Order, your lordship. I have already been informed that you are here about Tessara. Begin entry 51/4 Alpha. In the matter of the world of Tessara and its obligation to pay the Imperial tithe, the audience with the prefect of the Adeptus Administratum is now in session. Now then, what were your findings? Solomon, tell the prefect everything. I'm afraid I cannot accept another person's report. According to Coroner's expense status 19A11, any decision pertaining to matters to the tithe shall solely be answered for and by the person that directly meets said decision. I see. I discovered a material on the Tessara known as the Tassertium, a potent psi focus. I had it destroyed in the interest of the Imperium security. I can quite confidently deem that outcome to be adverse to the interest of the Imperium. Alas, your lordship, I am duty-bound to deliver an exact and impartial assessment of the events. Rogue Trader, upon learning about the existence of the deposit of natural psi focus located in the world of Tessara, destroyed said material in the entirety. Consequently, the Imperium was deprived of a highly prized resource, noted and recorded. You little shit. The prefect chews on her lip in thought. I will be frank with you, lordship. The conclusion that we were drawn regarding the Tessara inspection were far from satisfactory. Minor disturbances, such as the mass execution of mutants of the rebel plot disguised as celebrations, are not as dangerous as the, if you will permit my choice of words, coup that resulted from your intervention. I understand that consequences are something that those endowed with power are wont to leave to their servants to deal with, and therefore something they find acceptable to ignore. However, I hope my words may help you to revise your approach to execute the Imperium's will in the Coroner's expense in the future. How do you obtain such detailed information about the events on Tessara? Duty dictates that Adeptus Ministratum officials always be adequately informed, otherwise our service to the Imperium's order would be rather questionable use. Unfortunately, it is for the same reason that I cannot disclose my sources to you. You got told off? Yeah. I took care of a problematic world of yours, and you're twisting the facts regarding my efforts. I, his lowly unworthy servant, have no right to twist any facts. My duty is to assess consequence and to do everything I can to make sure the Imperium receives what it is owed. That is the purpose of my existence. Speaking from my wealth of experience, if I do say so myself, taking care of the Imperium's prosperity is a heavy burden, albeit an honorable one. The fact that even a rogue trader can run into difficulties while doing it only further confirms my many years of observation. If you think the Sarin mineral is so important to the Imperium, make it part of the tithe. What is the problem? Of course you have the power to change your decisions in a snap of your fingers, but its implementation will fall to thousands of administrative functionaries. They will have to first record the previous status of the tithe and then begin an equal-length process of registering the payment. As the servants of law and order, we cannot simply skip the cumbersome parts. Procedure must be followed meticulously, lest we become mired in anarchy. The matter of Tessara is closed with that. Am I correct? Closed and recorded, yes. However, that was just the first item of the agenda. Now, on to the next matter. Begin entry 52/1 Sigma. Competency assessment of Proctor Solomon Anthar, based on the performance during the mission of the World of Tessara. You hear a painful metallic creak of Solomon's augmented hand clenching into a fist. Competency assessment. Very well, Prefect. I am listening. What gives you the right to evaluate Solomon? So, as to avoid misunderstanding, allow me to clarify that I'm not making any judgment, but rather gathering information at Marshal Starch's request. Proctor Anthar, you will be evaluating your own conduct in this instance. For my part, I will merely state the few key points. Let us begin. How could you describe the performance taking into account of the following facts? You took part in the execution of the Administratum appointee without its appropriate permission. You also allowed yourself to be captured, thus endangering your mission and imperiling your valuable equipment issued to you by the Adeptus Arbites. What is more, you sanctioned a tithe-related decision that carries adverse consequences for the Imperium. That is all. Proceed to your self-evaluation. Solomon's heavy gaze is fixed upon the Prefect as he slowly forces the first word out of his jaws, as if they have turned to stone. I took every effort and was acting solely in the name of the Lex Imperialis. However, the outcome of the mission speaks for itself. My verdict is thus that my performance in the Tessera case was inadequate. Noted and recorded. Now that the Tessera inspection report has been properly entered into the records, allow me, on behalf of the Adeptus Administratum, to officially extend our gratitude to your support providing to us. May the One Valance's name be forever praised, and may the Emperor protect you and your dynasty for many generations. This said, I must now request your assistance in a different capacity. A number of highly important court cases have accumulated in the Palace of Justice, that kind that require formal resolution by the rogue trader himself. I'm a little bit harsh on yourself, Solomon. Exactly as harsh as my duty demands it that I be. An arbitrator has no right to mistakes or weakness. Our mission is much too important. How will the trial proceed? The defendants will speak first, whereupon you can ask me a clarifying question on the case, and then a death sentence must be passed. You are, of course, free to judge otherwise, but an execution is preferable, since in every case that will come before you, an outcome without highly unpleasant consequences is unlikely. Executions reduce the number of malcontents and motivate prospects defendants to solve their problems before they come under the purview of the rogue trader's court. Wow, you kind of like encourage people taking the law into their hands? One of the rogue trader's many duties is to mete out justice. I agree. I have relegated my current task in advance, and thus I'm ready to escort you to the Palace of Justice. Please follow. Palace of Justice. Oh, look at that. There's an actual scale in the middle. Can totally not be manipulated if you know the right people. Me, look at that. Oh my goodness, am I gonna sit up there? There's a huge gun aimed. Court Administrator. Glory to the House of Unmalanches. We are honored to welcome you to the Palace of Justice, your lordship. Do you wish to proceed to the session at once, or will you grace me with any questions I might humbly answer? What kind of cases are usually heard here? Only the most important ones that involve the interest of the highest-born persons of the prominent factions of the Imperium, disputes between noble houses that go for generations, conflicts between God Emperor's servants who are vested with authority. The cases litigated by the Palace of Justice quite literally concern matters of life and death. In such instances, there is always a guilty party whose lies, connivances, and negligence have caused damage to the Protectorate. The task of the judge is to establish guilt and pass a stern sentence, as order cannot be imposed without these, or without summary executions. Well, let us begin. Please follow. I'm sitting there? Oh, goodness. Scribble Vulture theory amplifies. The court will now hear case DP1453/2, the doleful host, against the atrostophatic chore of Dargonus. Representative for the parties will present their arguments following standard procedure. A woman with lines of scripture all over her skin folds her arms into an aquila. One second. My name is Sister Jeeth, and I represent Doleful Hosts, a God Emperor's anointed one. We come upon a group of heretics whose minds brimmed with the most shameless thoughts. We captured them and tortured them as befits their transgressions. From what we've able to discern from the wailing and screaming, the head of the astrophatic core is plotting to betray House von Valancius. No one is a liar when flame is caressed to their flesh. The doleful host surrounded the chore building and demand that the heretics be handed over. It was solely out of respect for the anointed one that we refrain from burning down the wayward heretics den on the spot. However, say by the word, and we shall take him, and we may undergo a righteous cleansing. The arguments are acknowledged and shall be weighted on the scales of justice. The representatives will retreat to the chapel of the patients to wait the verdict. So they're stating their plea and then they piss off, and depending on what the scales. Just fucked up. Oh, Warhammer. You never failed to impress. The gaunt man dressed in astropath robes is standing tall, but his voice trembles with fury. I am Master Angelio. I represent the Dargona's astrophatic core. Those insidious and ignorant people are passing off their victims' ravings as truth. Your lordship, people will say anything under torture just to make the agony stop. We have served House von Valancius faithfully for decades. Master Prass, the longest of all. Please order them to stand down. The master of the court repeats the same monstrous formula, bidding the other representatives to leave the courtroom. Make this quick. Ask your ship's shore master whether Master Prass of their Dargonus has been known to engage in any compromising behavior. At once, Lord Captain. Shore Master Vines has known Master Prass for quite a long time. He has made a very measured statement to the effect that for some time now, the mental images conveyed by Prass have taken on a shade of profound anxiety and have become more aloof and detached overall. Zachary Vines attributes this to Prass' horrific experience during the warp storm, but he is less than completely sure. As there is still something that sets the Dargonus Shoremaster messages apart from those of his fellow survivors. I want to hear my retinue's opinion. Both parties have shown disrespect for the Imperium's authority. The doleful host is engaging in a mob justice, and the defendant did not even deign to stand trial in person. Sentence them both to death, that would be the optimal outcome. Why are they putting things on scales? The scales of justice are a secret relic installed as the testament of the alliance between the von Valancius dynasty and the side of the Adeptus Arbites Administratum. It is highly unlikely that such an artifact actually exists. Judging by the design of the device, it is nothing more than a set of regular, albeit massively crafted weight scales, devoid of machine spirits of any kind. Someone must secretly manipulate the plates in order to add greater profundus to the Rogue Trader's verdicts. Solomon, is it not excessive to execute both parties? No. Such a verdict will remind your subjects that only the Rogue Trader has the right to administer justice. Besides, If you take the host side, it will inspire new self-proclaimed executioners, and if you absolve the astropath, he turns out to have been guilty after all, other heretics will feel safe to act with impunity. That is why I advise you to be stern. The Lex is on your side. I mean, Solomon makes sense. The other ones took the laws into their hands. And the other ones could be not guilty. But even so, it could give off the wrong message. And inspire more heretics to feel safe and do things. I heard you. I'm ready to pass my judgment. Oh, they're both being presented? I agree with Solomon. Both parties in that case are guilty. Execute them. We'll get security +2. There'll be no execution. I agree with Solomon. Both parties in the case are guilty. Execute them. A harsh verdict, but from now on your subjects will hardly dare escalate situations to the point of open clashes. In cases similar to this one, of course. The Rogue Trader has made his decision. Arbites, carry it out. Oh, they're crying. It's a freaking huge melter gun that just evaporates. Oh my fucking god. This is so fucked up. I love it. The court will now hear petition CR 1547. The petitioner is Cardinal Envillis. The arguments, please, Cardinal. The gaunt man raises his bloodshot eyes at you. For a moment, all sound ceases, so even the scratching of the countless servo skulls quilts. The man's gaze is full of pain, so strong and undiluted that their breath ceases in your throat. That your breath ceases in your throat. I am impure, or Emperor Anointed One. I beset my impure thoughts, but no one believes my confessions. I've been giving away the treasures I possess only for people to bring me. Worse still is the knowledge that I'm leading people astray. They look at me and I believe the state of perfect grace is unattainable, while I'm very tired. But most terrible of all is all my brethren, the preacher of the coroner's expense, see me as a holy man. The delusion has been so persistent that he sent a petition to Holy Terror, asking that may it be saint. That was when I became firm in my decision to submit to torture in front of my congregations. This reminded them that no holiness exists unless bestowed as a gift by the God Emperor. Even clerics of my rank can and must repent, thus becoming more pure every day. Please allow me to undergo mortal torture in this name in front of my parishioners. What does my retinue say to that? Situation analysis complete. Let the paradox cease. Let functionality triumph. Use the unit Cardinal organic remains to construct the servo skull herald and place it in an automated chapel. The status of sainthood will be extended to the liturgical mechanism. Making a servo skull out of him? The bloodspun web is knowledgeable in ways to torment one's flesh without going to the undying one before due time. Domin, allow us to help Cardinal Elvis attain enlightenment and experience the purity of their death states. Undergoing our rite should make him realize it is not in his gift to sever his own thread. According to the Lex, A candidate saint may personally challenge their sainting by petitioning Ecclesiarch on Holy Etera. Sidestepping the head of the Imperial cult is a violation of the Imperial law. Since astrophatic communication with the rest of the Imperium has been disrupted, I propose to put Cardinal on a ship that crosses the Maw, so that he can submit his requests with every formality observed. Solomon, the Maw is closed. That does nothing to diminish the stipulation of the Lex Imperialis. Besides, following the letter of the law absorbs you the necessity to tainting your hands with blood of a potential saint. Either the Cardinal will cross the Maw, thus providing his sainthood, or he will perish if the Emperor's will it. As you can see, the Lex Imperialis has all the answers. I'm ready to pass my judgment. I like Pascal's answer. Same. Same. Pascal. We get Promethean mechanisms. We get mechanisms. You heard Pascal. Cardinal Anvils shall die an honorable death and continue to serve the faith as part of the sacred machine. I imagine the verdict would horrify the Cardinal, but on the other hand, centuries from now, his followers will still be able to listen to his record sermons and worship his remains with the same fanatical zeal as the national saint's lifetime. Accept generous donations towards the construction of the automated chapel, since many will want to have a part in such a momentous event. Okay, so no shooting. The Rogue Trader has made his will clear. Cardinal Anvelis will leave the Palace of Justice and accept his fate. Let us move on to the last case of today. The court will now hear case DP 1646/7, Lady Molessus Secundus against the late Lord Mollis. Lord Mollis being deceased, he will be represented by his progeny, Agatha and Sigilles Mollis. Representatives for the parties will present their arguments following standard procedure. Your Lordship, I'm Lady Mollis Secundus. Only 8 cycles ago, a man broke into my house posing as my husband, the late Lord Mollis. Contrary to what I know, he denies that he was killed by pirates. Instead, he purportedly survived thanks to the God Emperor's providence. However, I hold here his death certificate, issued by the Administratum, which clearly states that my husband has passed away. I demand that this fraud to be executed. The arguments are acknowledged and shall be weighted. Your Lordship, our father did survive. He really was captured by pirates who were going to demand ransom, but the Imperial Navy managed to board the ship and rescue him. After he heard missing, our mother, Lady Mollis, arranged for a death certificate before we received the good news. Now we are in a humiliation position of having to prove that our father is alive, while our mother is living with her new husband, Lord Secundus, and has taken over our family business. Aha! So that is the problem. There's money involved. Always. Always. Swear to gods. If money's short, I promise you, you'll have relationship problems. I promise you. We implore you to restore Lord Mollis to his life and name. He's humbly waiting your decision in the Chapel of Patience. All arguments have been acknowledged. What does Lord Mollis have to say? Private place a vox recording on one of the service calls. I am Mollis. When the pirates captured me, I thought I was doomed, but fate proved to be more gracious than that. I hurried home only to, from my own house, by my servants, and learned that Lady Mollis had been declared dead and married Lord Secundus. She should also take control of our everything. Agatha and Sigilus have recognized me, and I'm losing my mind. What does the Mollis family do? Manufactures nutritional rations. They supply the Astra Militarum as the worlds with who have no food of their own. Okay, so they're making food. Lady Mollysican's talents are self-evident. She could easily boost production on any planet. What might be called her promotion under the guise of punishment would bring tangible benefits. What says my retinue? This absurdity has dragged on for too long. So be it. The Emperor as my witness, I am reluctant to revisit my early training experience in the Administratum, but I'm going to have to. Does Lady Mollis Secundus have a paper that certifies she is alive? If not, the defendant is to be deemed dead, with all that entails. This is a complicated situation, but Lady Mollis Secundus was acting in Imperium's interest. She had shouldered the duty of care for the family business and was in no position to wallow in her grief for cycles upon cycles. Cassia throws back her shoulders and says in a dignified voice, "A marriage between people of noble birth is a union of two servants of the Emperor. Duty towards the Imperium is at the heart of that union. If there comes a long period of time when one of the spouses is unable to fulfill their obligations, the marriage loses its meaning. If you could codify this understanding in law, that would help resolve the situation." If Lady Mollis Secundus is right, then her children are the impostor accomplices and are guilty of defaming the authenticity of administrative documents. Let the woman know that her heirs must face the same fate as a criminal, for such stipulates to the Emperor's law. It makes sense. Perfect. Relay Solomon's words to Lady Mollis Secundus. As you wish. The Beric's dry fingers tap quickly. Soon after, she looks up from the bid screen and says in the color's voice, "Lady Mollis Secundus has confessed to bribing an administrative official and is pleading for offsprings to be spared." She bribed an official to get that death certificate. Looks like the whole thing is correct. That is happening there. Just that the lady's not having a happy time with her disappeared husband. Oh boy. The case is clear to me now. I'm ready to pass verdict. So, as their family affair, let's let them handle. Well, prefects, let us discuss the crime committed inside the administratum that has led to this hearing. She is a mother trying to save her children. That may have been a false confession, and what is worse, a false accusation against the sacred service of the administratum. Lady Molest Secundus is hereby sentenced to death. The administratum shall conduct an internal audit and execute the fraudulent clerk along with all their superiors, excluding you, prefect. Another case like this, and the canon of the law will be pointing at you. Oh, this is so... Holy shit! Can you even imagine all the procedural disruption in the wake of execution? So many. The verdict is clear. Each sentence will be carried out under my personal oversight. The dude goes. And she shall be evaporated. This is so fucked up. As the last attendants leave the courtroom, the prefect turns to you with a delighted expression. Lady Theodora held court sessions like this to strengthen her subjects' faith in the Lex Imperialis and their fear of the breaching it. A most useful practice, wouldn't you agree? Are there no more active disputes in my domain? Come now, bring me a few more of these misguided souls. Enthusiasm is laudable, but as I'm sure you understand, any manner of procedure requires prior registration, which in turn involves filling out official forms and signing regulated approved documents. Is it for the reason that I am, alas, unable to honor your request? With your permission, will now return to my duties. Thank you. Good. Off you go. Off you go, then. Have to grab some goods. Let's fix the cogitator. Cogitator is filled with data of the working of the Palace of Justice, listing things such as names of the servants, the number of the people entering the building, and always greater than that of those leaving it. Makes sense.
I always keep my options open.
With laws like that. Lord Captain. The Great Tithe is a secret payment necessary of the earnings of the privilege of being of the Empire. Use the cogitator. Cogitator is filled with the personal data of executed. More goods over there.
Keep your wits about you.
Catalyst reports of incoming tithe retributions. Evaporating them does not count as leaving, yes. There are less people coming out than going in. Reach into the wood chip. But I still think we have to... Is it in my... in the Von Valensius area that we have to talk to them? Or what do we have to report back to the arbites guy? Apparently not. Well, to the throne room then. Let's see what Cassia has in store for us. And I think we're gonna bring... I'll leave Heinrichs behind and grab Argenta with us. Oh, my dear Argenta. If you're ever gonna play another playthrough of this, Argenta dual pistol is something I would like to try out. Or main character dual pistol, because it's gotta most likely be a heretic playthrough. So we had the devastating attack, right? Yeah, devastating attack. But that means we have now the breaking attack. Devastating attack also reduces the target armor by 7 and toughness by 10 until the end of combat. Does not stack. So one devastating attack to shoot at the target. Would you have done a different verdict, Chad, on those cases? Kiss Cup says, boo, the multi-melter just got into warming thing. I forgot that we have the wonderful background here for Chad to be part on screen as well. Feel free to say hi, YouTube. You're again just currently rocking a bolter pistol, flamer pistol, because I have no heavy bolter yet. Fair enough. Solmorn? Nothing to say. Versarian. There's a meeting about House Orsellio. Allow me to report that the team navigators have taken residence. Make the arrangements of reception. Understood. We'd like to hold this meeting shortly. Yes, Cassie and I are ready for the talks. I'll send out the messenger. Good. And she does shred. Yeah, it's the dual pistol thing is insane, especially with the pistol thingy. When you crit with the pistol, you get another AP. Regent Orsellio's team delegation, the Rogue Trader, and the Valambalance's Protector welcomes you. Come this way, please. Golden, how you doing? See you. Thank you for the lurk. If you just tune in and you enjoy sleep, please consider hitting the heart button. Follow us. Be part of the fam. And also, Dress, maybe you can pin the playlist of the Rogue Trader series. That would be great. Thank you kindly. Doo-doo-doo. The esteemed representatives of the nobility have arrived. Ronto Orsellio. His companions, Lady Glyceria Orsellio, Navigator Lesso Sibon, and his intended bride, Lady Navigator Alexandrina, Lady Navigator Elena, and Navigator Danax. Okay, but why are we... Move our back, and there we go. I see, I see. Thank you, kindly Dress. A tall, wizened old man proudly stares at you with milky, unblinking eyes. Rogue Trader! On behalf of House Orsellio, we will express our satisfaction in the meeting and our gratitude for a warm welcome. You held a lavish reception. It pleases us to know that there are still lords in the Crown existence who observe etiquette and tradition of hospitality. And yet, this is not why we're here. Our Grace is obliged to note how much the Rogue Trader has done for the House of Orsellio by protecting its beloved child. We waited for many turns to behold her radiant visage. Come now, child. There is much we need to discuss. I... Not. Esteemed Regent, it pleases me to see clean sheen of gold and turquoise above your brow. It is thanks to the efforts of the Rogue Trader that I stand here today, and there's so much I want to tell you. But what is it that you desire to hear most? Well, know what happened at the station, Charles. We know what happened at the station. Your connection to the Atlas has grown so strong, we felt that turmoil in your soul, and the events that transpired have shaken us. House Orsellio is deeply grateful for the Rogue Trader for the destruction of the saboteurs. You took Theobald Orsellio's side in the conflict, and we're willing to procreate such magnanimous gesture. We trust that the Treaty of Friendship and Alliance, underpinned by transfer of several artifacts of exceeding rarity, will suffice. Now, come, child. It is time that we depart for our new home, so that we may finish what we started. Esteemed Regent, perhaps I could continue my education while still accompanied the Rogue Trader on his travels. Just imagine how I could learn beyond the bounds of... Cassia noticed the Regent's furious glare and falls short. Cassia, I would be honored if you decide to stay. Unthinkable! What?
Don't just stand there. Help the Rogue Trader defend the child and the palace.
Down with Tisiphone's tyranny! Kill the girl!
Excuse me?
O Messiah, give me the power to eradicate thy enemies.
Oh, Pascal, you're gonna get the powers to eradicate the enemies. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. We're getting over there. Keep Bell on that side. And me over here. Start a battle. So, is it just these fellas?
Emperor, give me strength. If I may.
So, we gonna run and then say apprehend.
Let's test our skills, Glato.
Very good. Nice powerful bites. And then advanced tracking. I should have done advanced tracking prior to that. That's what it is. Moving over here and smack
The
him with the
guilty
shields.
will fall.
Good. That's that. Let's pull everybody together.
Strengthens me.
Ooh. So I think they're stuns. Gonna put the stratagem over there. We're gonna go for over penetrating over here. And that's that because Argenta is next. And she's gonna come over here into the area of over penetrating. I'm gonna go with devastating attack. Rapid fire. And concentrated fire. And then I'm gonna just shoot here into the middle and completely shred everything to bits. Holy shit. Okay.
High momentum.
Steady superiority.
High momentum.
Yeah, that was it from the rebel nobility. I think what remains, there's two over there. Okay. 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 Get over here. Let's make captive audience so the next attack
As the
inflicts
tenants
bleed.
demand.
I'm gonna jump over. Blop, blop, blop. Then we're gonna do Blood Oath on
The
you.
shadows will see it done.
So we're gonna do Swingity Swangity Swang.
Caught by the web.
Nice. And then we do the Carnival of Misery, taking them, giving them all kinds of damage for every debuff and damage over time things they had on them. And they die. Well, that was it. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Chain swords. Listen to Alina Orsellio. Not sure we're gonna listen to her though. Solomon is a level ahead. The last one was Law and Order. So now we want Agility. And Coercion again. Mercy! Rogue Trader, whether on purpose or out of ignorance, you are harboring a monster that cunningly pretended to be an innocent maid. Spare me, and I, Alina Orsellio, will swear to tell you the whole truth about the madness that is devouring House Orsellio. I sentence you to death for the crimes against the Rogue Trader and the Lady Navigator Cassia. In the last words. This Siphonous heir be damned. I know that House Orsellio will cast off the tyrant's shackles someday. Rogue Trader, House Orsellio humbly ask for your lenience and forgiveness. We could not even imagine these vile rats could be scurrying among our ranks. As for them sneaking into the Rogue Trader's palace and staging an unthinkable crime, allow us to offer you a compensation worthy of a Rogue Trader as a gesture of friendship and an apology for any unpleasantness. Your people attacked them in my home. Give me one good reason not to execute you on the spot. You do not want a war with the novice nobility house, Rogue Trader. We could achieve much more as allies. House Orsellio is an injured party in this, just as you are. The renegades infiltrated our ranks, weakened us, implicated us before the Rogue Trader, and almost killed the most precious thing we have, our noble child. Do you really think we wish death upon one who is destined to lead our house? We're ready to tell you everything we know, so that this misunderstanding can be remedied as quickly as possible. Why are people trying to kill Cassia? Everyone in the house knows the child is the keeper of the true Starry Atlas, which once belonged to our great Novata, Tisiphone Orsellio. These ungrateful wretches secretly hate her grace, and when Tisiphone abdicated her responsibilities and set off for paths unknown, they staged a revolt to destroy her successor. Does Cassia really carry her Atlas? We believe it with all our hearts. The Novators spent many cycles of the world where the child was born. It is said that everyone who witnessed the miracle of her birth simultaneously departed for a destination known only to the Novator. Interesting. They dare to threaten me in my own house? Yeah, execution it is. What do you know about Cassia's unbridled powers? A special gift for a special child. She was born with it and grew up under its influence. The instability sometimes hampered her education, but we learned to prevent most outbursts. Tell me more about these renegades. The madmen who seek to destroy the centuries-old tradition of the Great House, so careful, nurtured by the previous Novator. They deem the century of her rule a tyranny, and our most secret relic a curse to be destroyed. Why do they want to destroy the relic? They dread its power, for only a Novator can fully grasp the mystery of the Atlas. Looks like House Orsellio has fallen on hard times. To call your statement false would be a lie. For many years we've managed to maintain the fragile balance within our house, but then the Novator departure shook the faith of many. The treasury is empty, the Novacores are scattered, the warp routes are scrambled, and many of our allies cannot be reached. I think I've heard enough. I would be honored to hear your thoughts. I will accept the compensations you have offered. We will arrange for items to be delivered as soon as possible. However, I still hold House Orsellio and you, Regent, personally responsible. What does that mean for us, Rogue Trader? I could forget about what happened if House Orsellio publicly proclaimed an alliance between our dynasties. With great pleasure, our emissary will contract yours and deliver the scrolls for your signature and seal. May the Emperor bless this new alliance. Nevertheless, we must remind you that this is a turbulent time for the House. We're delighted to be allies, but until our internal and external conflicts are resolved, our capacities for assistance will be limited. I wish to help House Orsellio solve their problems. It would be highly disrespectful of us to refuse the aid of the Rogue Trader. We, Aranto Orsellio, do hereby accept your offer. If you allow, we shall discuss the details later. It is settled then. And yet there's still one matter we need to discuss, Rogue Trader. As we said earlier, the child must return. We hope we will be gracious enough to acquiesce. Casa has no need of your tutelage. As a future Novator, she will handle the issues her house is facing on her own. There are traitors in your midst. Would the Lady Navigator not be safer under my protection? You're not wrong, Rogue Trader. If you are willing to take care of the child while we deal with our problems, so be it. And now we must bid you farewell. Poor Cassia. Poor Cassia. Anything else? Masarian? Nothing else. So... Cassius asked the Lord Commander to discuss the events on the bridge. Can we not discuss them here? No? Okay. To the bridges then. Hello, Mr. Merchant. Anything of interest here? Nope. Oops. Open the doors. Please, thank you. Watch your bridge. Let's talk to Cassia about the incident. So he's bitten my leg and it itches. Freaking mosquitoes. Cassia. Over there. Hello, milady.
It is so fortunate you have come. I admit I was seeking you out myself. After the events on Dargonus, it felt like an anthracite grey mantle had dropped on my shoulders. I spent a long time thinking about our very first meeting and what happened next. I cannot wait to shake off this dreary color. It was very naive of me to follow in the footsteps of the man who raised me in a gilded cage. And I was deaf to the needs of my own house. But you opened my eyes. As the future Novateur, I must gain wisdom to restore House Orsellio to its former glory, no matter the cost. Thank you. It will be an honor to keep guiding your vessel through the Sea of Souls, for as long as the needs of our dynasties are aligned.
I hope you're feeling a little safer now that Elena Orsellio has been executed.
On the contrary, Lord Captain. The mere thought of what happened tightens a grey-blue slip noose around my throat. To realize, again and again, how fervently your subjects hate you. I am sorry, Lord Captain. I should not have darkened your colors with my own struggles.
You feel some relief. Well, this is where I beg you farewell for now.
I have enjoyed your company. Thank you for the conversation.
How terrifying the lady is. Very terrifying indeed. So... we need to go to Kialvagama next. Oh no, this is still Kialvagama. We have something about Vebus. And disrupted shipments as well in Kialvagama. Okay. Let's have a look. Darn mutants! I mean, if she puts that third eye aside, I would be intrigued to learn more about our Fair Lady. Capella Biologis. Blocks the Dark Sages. I need a lot of repetition with the Kazbilla mission. Yeah! What do I need for those here? I need the Capella Biologis. For this one, I need the Dark Sages. See no defense. Security goes up, and I get the Seeker of the Weak. All enemies suffering from burning, toxic, or bleeding suffer penalty to dodge. That's massive. Gain 1 MP immediately resets all cooldowns and attack abilities. At the start of the user's next turn, they gain +1 stack of staggering. Okay. Karakal's Honor. A power sword. It's 1 damage. Should a power sword not be powered by Psi rating as well? Has a higher armor penetration though. Security goes up by 4. Security goes up by 4. Everybody pushes up the security by 4. Okay. Yeah, Capella Biologis is what we're gonna execute here. Xenoattacker mechanisms costs me. Fallstone. Drusus footsteps. The Curse of Sin. The charge ability deals additional damage equal to the weapon bonus against demons and Xenos. Okay. Profit factor goes up. Juicens go up. Complacency go up by 8. The Crusade, the security overall goes up. The Rogue Trader and their allies gain 20% damage against demons. The Rogue Trader and their allies gain 20% damage against demons. The Rogue Trader gains a +10 bonus to all characteristics during the warp encounter battles. And the Shrine. The Hammer of Epiphany. All damage dealt with this weapon pushes the enemies. Is increased by 100%. So Thunder Slam. Okay. Profit factor needs to be higher. Kind of like the Crusade idea, but I need weapons for that. Is there a way that we can acquire weapons? 3 out of 18 for some profit factor. 5 people for the hands of what? Hand of Avolius. After a successful attack, the gauntlets grant the wearer 50% chance to inflict the bleeding effect on enemies that fail a toughness test. If the wearer has dogmatic, the test is made with a -20 penalty. Hand of Avilius. That sounds nasty for 5 people. Adamantine for a little bit of profit. Profit is now 45. Orsellio Prophecy. I'm gonna check out the Orsellio Prophecy before we go to Chronok. Because it looks like I've not checked out the planets for whatever reason. Gotta trust in the navigator's talents. Colony Dargonus has begun a new stage. Lord Captain, we have received a report from Dargonus. Some common folk from now ruined Scipione have succumbed to the heresy of defiance, forming into gangs known as the Engine Vandals. Many of them did not want to obey your new adequate decision and send the restoration site, and thus they have fled the labor settlements, committed to heresy of disobedience. Rumors have it that the Foreman clan in charge of the Briss removal in the ruins of Scipione associates with these Vandals. We could pass on your words to the renegades via the Foreman. What do my advisors have to say? If Engine Vandals have managed to tame the ancient machine spirits, then that means there are technomens or even tech priests among their ranks. That renders them negotiable. It would be efficient to utilize such renegades instead of disposing of them. A promise of rewards for every piece of technology found in the wastelands of Dargonus and returned to the dynasty will ensure their obedience and tractability. Interesting idea. The aristocrats of Dargonus despise them, but are also secretly afraid of them, correct? Renegades who can invoke such fear. I wonder, had there been such exiles in my house, would their presence have curbed the ambitions of my brothers and sisters? Would they have supported me in a case of conflict? Oh, I am scheming and conspiring right now, am I not? Bravo, Lady Cassia. Do not be ashamed of the unique abilities bestowed upon you by your heritage. They are your birthright. The web teaches to look for the enemy's vulnerability, and with it drives them. If the enemy is compelled to seek sustenance by attacking your demesnes, prepare a trap full of poisoned gifts. Let them eat and drink to their heart's content. The poison will weaken them, and then you will strike. So we get a mechanism and a wasteland generator. The ancient companion Dragonus fleet frigates get torpedo tubes firing 5 plasma torpedoes with 19 damage. We should help them and give them aristocrats and a real threat that will keep them in their place. Leader of the engine vandals. Again, 1 movement points. What we'll do, as Kibella says, lay down a bait of poison to the vandals. We'll get the Death Cult Power Blade. A 2-handed weapon. The agility bonus goes over to the target's parry. And the Willer's critical hit chance for each attack they make. This bonus stacks until the end of a round. Death Cult Power Blade, but it's a 2-handed one. I need 2 1-handed for Kibella. Skull draft the message to the Omnimus Sign. Renegades, let them serve the acquisition of knowledge. Hybrids have become a rare occurrence. Expeditions are returning from the wastelands with relics that were once lost. The Foeman clan delivers the relics straight to the dynasty's coffers. Trophies for weapons. Shield of the Emperor has been constructed. With that, I can now make the Adeptus Arbites or the Guilds. Frag grenades. Good question. Is it more like Psychers can empower the blades, but it's an added effect? It says they're in the tooltips per se if the Psy rank adds to the damage. Population of the Dragonus grows, allowing the artisans to unite into guilds. Seasons of War. The Adeptus Arbites. As the population of Dragonus grows, the old ways must be improved upon. The creation of the Fortress of Justice will establish the rule of law and attract reliable merchants and partners. We'll get Imperial Navy, and security goes up. Whenever the wearer performs a heroic act or desperate measure, they recover all their wounds and gain 2 AP this turn. Jesus. Let's make the Adeptus Arbites. Troubling news have arrived from Janus, your lordship. While digging an irrigation ditch, workers found Xeno obelisks made of unknown material. Either Janus, okay, that must be then Aldari stuff. The obelisk generates a low-frequency vibration, and the events that followed were catastrophic. A series of anomalies were recorded in the Epsilon Majoris region. It is almost like Janus itself is fighting us there. Many logistical chains have been disrupted. The only people who visit the uncontrolled territory are the wretches fleeing deeper into the region in greater numbers. The Chem Princes are hastily summoning militias and getting ready to start purifying crusade. We await your lordship's blessing. Permission to advise granted. I evade your proposal. Yano's natural world is rising up. It is a lucky coincidence that the planet boasts experts who specialize both in controlling and destroying life. Reports from Magus Biologus Chapel make no mention of storing weapons of mass destruction, but I've no doubt they possess some. They always do. I see no reason not to let them use them against all this, whatever it is. Deployment of fortified research stations is in the affected sectors is recommended. The benefit of gathering more information justifies the increased casualty rate among the personnel. The wretches know more about these pestilence growth than we do. Something must be quickly rectified. We should capture some of these mutants and force them to cooperate. The way we can learn what it is we're dealing with. So, set up a research outpost. Torpedo tubes capable of firing full Aldari sonic torpedoes, doing 22 damage. Isolate the region and start rounding up wretches. The blessing of the warp spider. Whenever the warrior kills an enemy or scores a critical hit, they gain movement points. Begin the purge in the tainted region. The Magus Biologus are cleared to employ weapons of mass destruction. Yana's warlord. The rogue trader gains fellowship, weapon skill, and ballistic skill. Begin the purge of the tainted region. The rebelling wilds will soon become scorched wastelands. A job well done, I say. The already corrupted region began. The campaign led to unexpected and inexplicable anxiety among the peasantry. The Lord Captain had no choice but to assume personal command and direct the operation from aboard his ship, boosting the soldiers' morale and demonstrating his military prowess. The tip of the spear was compromised of Skitari maniples armed with radium carbines, phosphex bombs, and other equally fearsome weaponry. The land that they left in their wake resembled the scarlet waste of the sacred mass. Capella Biologis. Profit factor went up. So, monstrous servants. I'll get here where my security goes up. Forest Fortress. Oxina Defense. The inhabitants of Janos are restless. The populace may be placed by turning agri complexes into fortresses, assigning sheriffs from among the overseers, forming Jaeger bands. Gonna do that. Adamantine is what we need. Thousands of believers are flocking to Fallstone in Druce's footsteps. Or shrine. Efficiency, complacency, security, profit factor. Druce's footsteps is what we're gonna do. Execute. Last deal, Bloggy Stone. You can jump over to other mods if I so wish to. I mean, it kind of goes into that direction. So why not warp travel, even if it's dangerous? Let's go. Lord Captain, I humbly request an audience with you. Proctor Anthar is interfering with my crew and has demanded to see all the archival records of fugitive criminals we have ever received from the Imperial Navy. The matter is urgent, if you please, Lord Captain. I'll meet you with it immediately. Oh, boy! What do you guys want? What do you guys want from me? The Lordship Proctor Anthar is interfering in the work of the crew. He's intimidating, threatening them, demanding access to the sealed archives. And as for his dog, I humbly request that you take action. Make this what is wrong with your hand. Allow me to explain. Voxmaster tried to pet Glyndo, which activated his self-defense protocol. As a result, I had to step away from my duties to have my implants replaced, esteemed Proctor. I already apologized. In any case, what happened was the expected outcome from an unauthorized contact with a living weapon of the Adeptus Arbites. Vigdis, why did you try to pet Glyndo? I didn't. I did not try to pet him. It's not customary to keep such cyber beasts in a wood ship, Lord Captain. It's my first encounter with such a creature. That Glyndo, it was following me all over the bridge. And you decided to interfere with his work protocol? I had studied the archives and found mention of a ritual to establish contact that involves an offering and physical interaction with the beast. You're literally talking about bribery, a pointless act. Cybermastiffs cannot be bribed, and neither can arbitrators. Make this reprimand yourself with a note on your personal file. Glyndo is a combat cyber mastiff, property of the Adeptus Arbites, not some beast. Yes, sir, Lord Captain. Solomon, why are you sabotaging the work of my crew? I was compelled to intervene as Glyndo had intercepted a suspicious signal. The encrypted message contained the word heresy and fugitive. I managed to trace the signal back to the Voxmaster's workstation. I needed to dispatch Glyndo as a reconnaissance mission to obtain new evidence and ultimately ensure your safety. In other words, he sent the beast to follow me. I questioned the crew in the Voxmaster's absence and established that the wanted bulletins sent by the Imperial Navy were being completely ignored. I suspect that Senior Officer Holyman is abusing your trust. What do you see, Vigdis? Reported fugitive criminals, which number in the thousands, are of low priority. What's more to know, Lord Captain, Theodore was most adamant on that matter. If you forgive me, her exact words were, "We're not Grok's damned bounty hunters." This Proctor would know that if we had brought his question to me rather than interrogating astrophones and comms officers. As for the Vox transmission, the frequency on which the senior officers communicate is encrypted. I alerted the staff to the situation with the Voidsman who has brought to you the bridge to stand trial. Neither remind the Lord Captain that Proctor Anthar has no authority to access transmission conducted by the senior officers of the Rogue Trader's flagship, not to mention that the signal was wrongly intercepted. Did you know that one of the Voidsmen was a fugitive heretic? No, Lord Captain, he was not on the list of wanted criminals. I assume it is because the relative insignificance of the heresies he was accused of by the Calixian authorities. Perhaps Proctor Anthar had informed to which the Imperial Navy does not have access. Interesting. Don't pet the cyberdog. Exactly. We did pet the cyberdog and it did not bite us, and I got an achievement for that. Solomon, what are you suggesting? The flagship is untouchable for external inspections because of its high status, and criminals are taking advantage of that. So you need an internal audit. You need to pull up archives of wanted bulletins and double-check the crew records. This is madness for a ship whose officers' corps alone compromise hundreds of people. The work hours that would be required for such an audit. I'm ready to make a decision. Solomon, you will be granted access to the archives and lead an audit of my crew. As you command, Rogue Trader. There we go. There we go. So, since we're here on the bridge again, I'm gonna talk to Yandris. Contact the curiosity merchant from Dargonus. A cyber beast needs new equipment. Interesting. Shipping, transportation, and goods. There we go. Drusians, Silent Death armor. Let's grab that. We get the heavy flamer. Good. Triumph of Retribution. See, there it says. This is... oh, it's a force sword. There's a difference between a force sword and a power sword. I see. Yeah. Whenever the wielder kills an enemy with this weapon, veil degradation is reduced. This sword deals additional damage. Nice. So the Triumph of Retribution is putting the veil degradation lower. What does that do? Combat weapon in the form of a ring allows the wearer to fire an inferno pistol shot once per combat. Interesting. Executioner's gauntlets. Increases the critical damage of where it hurts. By the medic... oh my god. Oh my goodness gracious, we need that. We need that. Executioner's gauntlets. ASAP. Ba-bum. New batteries. Select all tradable. There we go. As soon as my profit factor goes up, we're gonna have a lot of funsy items for the ship. Explorators. Heavy plasma gun. That would be nice for Pascal. So, Drusins. Reputation. Hides. Let's go for cost. Holy gifts. Jewelry. Uniform kits. Trade. There we go. Seal of Death, what does that do? Whenever the wearer kills an enemy with a blade dance, other enemies adjacent to the wearer become staggered. Holy moly. Okay. Then the Explorators. Reputation, hide untradable, filter by cost. Heretic trophies. Of course, the Mechanicus parts. You're eager for those. Weaponry. Up to 12. There we go. When there were an allies and the two solid raiders gain momentum, they also gain an equal amount of temporary wounds. That's something for Argenta. Boost your life. Heavy plasma for our lovely Pascal. So, Gibella, I think you're gonna have a new armor. Silent Death. Whenever the wearer suffers a trauma in combat, if they have more than 0 wounds, they immediately regain wounds. Base armor gets dodge if the wearer's weapon skill is more than 55%. 55. Yes. So our dodge at the moment is 115. With this, you're It remains 115. Okay. So, Argenta. I think I'm gonna keep the Blessed Boulder changing then. I think I'm gonna keep that. You have that. Then we have some gloves. Increase the critical damage of where it hurts by 24 for every instant. Oh my gods. This will hurt a lot. Whenever the warrior kills an enemy with blade dance, other adjacent characters become staggered. So, Triumph of Retribution. The Ancient Sword seems to be better. Whenever the suffers energy, fire, warp damage. And it stacks the damage. Yeah, it's okay. Oh, wow. Attack and lowering of valve degradation sounds more interesting. 8 to 15. There'll be a change in here. Exactly. So, let's do some heal ups. Crack Granados as well. Skill increase against humans. Plus 10 agility is though pretty huge. Gonna keep it like that. Newest to oldest. In terms of sword, anything better? 8 to 12, no. Is that to cargo? Why makes it so hard with this game? I drool thinking what a sequel could be like if they get the time. The next game will be Dark Heresy that they have. The same kind of concept like Rogue Trader. It will be fully voiced and definitely going a lot more into the cinematic approach because they saw the success of Baldur's Gate. And yeah, that's from what I can tell you from internal sources since I'm a friend with Allcad. And speak to them quite a lot. Yeah, I'm gonna keep these 2 chain swords for now. Still no better swords that we found. In terms of shotties, 8 to 18 to 22. This faux hammer seems to have a higher armor penetration though. I'm gonna keep him that pistol. Man, a dual pistol build must be also so nasty. And also melee build with these saws is insane. Does Allcat take donations? No. They take donations in form of ordering maybe an collector's edition, for example. Dark Heritage collector's edition is out already. What does dual wielding do? It probably has this has to be different weapons. So dual wielding is giving you access that you can shoot with your offhand, or interact with your second weapon as well. So you can attack twice a turn. If you go to talents, I have, for example, the shotgun mastery, where it lets me wield two-handed shotguns in one hand because of the arbites backgrounds. And then I have the piercing. Did I not grab it yet with my main character? It seems like I've not grabbed dual wielding or dual weaponry. Point blank, humiliating. It seems like I've not grabbed it yet. Interesting. Okay, then Kibela is a better option. Dual combat. Dual weapon combat. That's the one. You get a little bit of a penalty on your roll on attack. And the attack costs 1 more AP. But you can do a follow-up attack with your offhand. Do I have dual combat? Law and Order? Oh yeah, do I have dual weapon combat? There we go. Because I was able to shoot with both. I was like confused why it does not appear. So, onto the Corona's expense. So if you want to go for a dual wielding character, then that is definitely one of the skills that you want to have. Calling the Dragonus has begun a new stage of development. Profit factor went up by 5. Let's expand here. Let's see. An incredible find has been made on Falstone, Lord Captain. A lost volume of Saint Keefi's diary has been discovered. By following the Saint's words, the Order of the Hammer was able to find corrupt ore containing a tech relic of the Saint Cognatus, the Crucible. The Keefi's writing on it are vague and is called the Sculpture and Transformer Granting Life and Grace. The explorers have sent a delegation to lay claim to the treasure, which has sparked a heated dispute. Okay, so the explorators, the Adeptus Arbites, not the Adeptus Arbites, the Adeptus Mechanicus are now having an issue with the clergy. What say my companions? It is likely that the research contained in the ancient treatise. Man, I want to find a plugin or a filter that I can click for my microphone for... I mean, I need to prep this for Dark Heresy. Although Dark Heresy will be voice act fully. But, you know, to be able to have like an Mechanicus voice, it'd be like very robotic in a sense. I can spare some of my computing power to find such a case and provide my brothers and sisters with information that is necessary to win this dispute. I believe the chronicles of Amalinian conclave describe mystical miracles witnessed by zealots while praying at an ancient banner of Saint Copius. Should the Crucible perform a similar miracle, then no doubts will remain that it is indeed a holy relic and not the property of the Adeptus Mechanicus. Cause has brought up an interesting idea. Let a convincing miracle happen that would prove that the Crucible is a true relic. The Saint Cognatus Scriptures. Lord to Imperium, the wearer gains armor and deals critical damage to Xenos and demons. Also, they can reroll a failed test once per test. Jesus. And the armor is linked to the Lord to Imperium. This is like the weapon for Agenta. Oh my god. What does Pascal get? The Tech Litany collection. This complete collection of tech litanies is a token of gratitude for the explorators. All void ship weapons, except torpedoes, gain 3% to critical hit chance and 3% to critical damage. I mean, you can choose in terms of item. But in terms of the roleplay and myself being in arbites, I think the approach of having a litany and a prayer to see if the relic reacts would be the course of action that my character would go. So we are agreeing with Cassia. Now I feel uneasy at the thought that I have become the mastermind of this deceit. At the same time, the crucible revealed a miraculous vision. Sacred images of martyrs appeared before the awestruck witness and blessed an ancient artifact. Even though some claimed to have caught a glimpse of some suspicious individuals operating lens machines, most of those present acknowledged the fact of this miracle. The explorers have made peace with their loss and asked permission to conduct several of their own rituals with the crucible. Research into the crucible has identified it as a device for surface terraforming, fueled by geothermal energy of the planet. Hear, hear. So with that, we've kind of built everything that we can so far here. So we have also these boots. Whenever the wearer performs a heroic act, they recover the wounds and gain 2 AP. Ooh. I love how chunky we look. Lord to Imperium. Switch it up with the Imperial Scroll. 85. The Accuser of Sin Servo Skull. Gonna go with you. Nice. Pascal. New plasma weapon for you. 18 to 23 and 45 armor penetration. Ooh, look at that baby. It is so good. Leopard type. 7 to 12. Ghost sword. I need her to get access to Aldari and Drukari weaponry. Get some of these nasty swords. Let's visit other mats too. In general, Seb, if you have any questions, feel free to throw them over. I can also send you a list of builds if you want to. Have a look at ideas or compare to what you have. But be sneaky, leave work early. That's clever, my friend. Have a good one. Adamantine is something we need, so we can build an extra thorium on this. Have a great rest of your day, my friend. The bizarre structure observed from the orbit appears to be a ruined estate of a wealthy noble. Further searching reveals the remain of an envirodome, a landing pad, and a main manor of servant quarters. The search team has found something truly disturbing. An opulent clothed skeleton sitting in the diner table. The table is set with gold plates covered with old blood and piles of bones. The bones on the plates are clearly human. No other remains have been found on these estates. Search for the remains. The scout team returns with some expensive weapons taken from the skeleton. After finishing their report, they huddle away, whispering prayers. I get the assault lasgun. Every hit reduces deflection by 1, stacks up 3 times. Excuse me. So many cool weapons. 7 Promethium. I'm gonna grab that. That's pretty good. Unidentified void ship and the Recologer's plot, whatever that is. Plasteel 2, no can do. A vox of notification from the Ogre crew drowns the usual noise of the bridge. The Imperial vessel, the Dark Piercer, is its escort ship, are headed your way. The archives make no mention of either ship of it or its owner. As you consider your course of action, the ship's captain contacts you, introducing himself as the Pilgrim. The captain greets the rogue trader courteously and offers to purchase any information you might have on crystal phlogiston deposits. Why does the Pilgrim know that? The captain's caused laughter echoes from the Vox. Phlogiston is a part and parcel of many different aspects of life in Imperium. How exactly his customers are going to use it is none of his concern. All that the Pilgrim promises that the Phlogiston will be used for the good of humanity. Pascal becomes visibly animated at the mention of Phlogiston, though indifferent to the prospect of a deal with the shadowy individual. The Magus nonetheless recommends you to find out more Phlogiston deposits. Your own protectorate would benefit from the knowledge. Sister Gantus sincerely believes the words of the Pilgrim. A cowl or a golden aquila are not prerequisites for being his true servant. If the captain sincerely wants to help the Imperium, perhaps by his own methods, there is nothing questionable about extending a helping hand. Why do you call yourself the Pilgrim? Captain admits he has not always done the right thing in his life, but he once beheld the blessing of the Emperor himself and has followed a special path of service to him ever since. Propose a deal valuable on information exchange of Phlogiston. The captain of the Dark Piercer is in the best of spirits. In gratitude for your invaluable help, he sends you a small box containing ancient maps and documents. Then, in somewhat conspiratorial tone, the Pilgrim relates a story about a standoff between two Xenos fleets, which he was told by an acquaintance. The person in question, sadly enough, died at the hand of the Inquisitions before they were able to pass on the coordinates for the crash sites of the Xenos ships. However, the Pilgrim knows for a fact that the vessel met its demise on an ocean world. Bid her farewell and travel onwards. Let's visit the colony. Recalling his plot. Okay. Very interesting. But if you Vikings, if you have moments, please share some love to Septequis. There's a heart popping up in your chat. Click it. Fill it out. There's some love over there. There's scavengers. Welcome, your lordliness. Please, please come right in. Our chief shall greet ya. And you, nitwits, quit your gawking and get to work.
An initial survey of the vessel indicates that my exploratory brethren have already performed a requiem right here. Further examination is inadvisable.
That's so.
The battle aboard the Heartless was a difficult trial, but we prevailed. Is there anything like a triumph against all odds to inspire us to new deeds of glory?
The Heartless was engulfed in every shade of horror when it almost plunged into the Immaterium. It was a costly triumph and a valuable lesson.
Interesting.
Hold the line. This hamlet shall not fall.
Daruder, welcome in, Reynolds.
Let us not dawdle.
How's it going? How's your stream? If you're here for the first time, I'm Kormakr, or Korm. I'm a writer, streamer, voice actor, and in the game industry, I'm a big fan and friend of Owlcat Games, and I love myself some Rogue Trader. Right now, we're in Rogue Trader and Neverwinter Nights 2. And if you're here for the first time and that sounds something that is for you, please hit the heart button, follow us, and for those watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Tell us everything about you, the Ruder Place. What have you been up to? Big thanks for the raid again. So, what do we have here? A working area of fragments of the ships and dismantling stuff. Okay. Something is propped against the door from the inside. A tired-looking woman of intermediate age, clad in work clothes, breaks off her task and greets you. Your Lordship, please excuse me. I don't really know your name. Welcome to our little colony. May the light of the Emperor be with you and with us. My name is Reta Maximova. In charge here. Sounds like Russian. Druder says, stream was nice. Well, this account is here for the first time, but my main account is following you for quite a while. Is that so? Daruder. Sounds familiar somehow. Gruder? Is that your other account? Good Kiri, welcome in. Vroom. Start some change words for new friends. What do you believe? It's a well-spoken rebel. Is it rather sweet in his own way? Go on then, amuse me. Tell me about yourself and this place. What is this place? We just call ourselves Reta's crew, and this place is Reta's camp. That's it. We're recologists, scavengers in common terms. And our work is all legal, even though your brethren have no liking for us. Pascal stares at Reta with a hint of disgust. What do you do here? Right now we're cutting this old heap of junk, slowly but surely. That's Rekolga's life for you. They drop us off at some point, and we work. But I swear, on my plasma torch, it's an exciting life. The little birds got all kinds of bells and whistles. Most of the tech is dead. But we do find working pieces now and again. We spent 2 whole months clearing out this shaft we found finished just 3 days ago. Actually, we found this thing. Perhaps your lordship would like to buy this component from us? Present the object, laywoman. I will buy the components. Well, isn't this something? The Emperor himself must have smiled upon us. I mean, thank you, your lordship. Magnus class rechargeable batteries. Okay, some items. I understand. Sorry, the name Fortnite is flagged on my channel. My bot did not let your message through. I was playing some Elden Ring first and then some Fortnite and dedicated my stream to raise money for a local wildlife animal. A neat project a friend of mine brought to life. So far we were able to raise 60 bucks for them. Fantastic! I'm so cool. I find it cool that you do such a thing. The Ruda. This is your main account? Gotcha. Why not use that one? Or did you like the numbers next to it? You know, lordship, this is kind of embarrassing to offer, but over in that corner here we keep things don't rightly understand or can't really use. You can send some of your people to check out if you'd like. I can take you from this place. It's not safe here, and sooner or later it will drift somewhere too remote that nobody will ever find you again. But this is our whole livelihood, your lordship. You take us from here, and what are we gonna do? Here we got our own colony, our own operation. Now this is our path, and we went straight from it. You take pride in your trade, I see. Sure do. It takes skill and luck and a good head on your shoulders. We risk our lives every day crawling on top of these old buckets. If something goes wrong, we die. But the score sometimes. One moment we're there, the next we're gone, and kind of like workers' ants. But you know what, your lordship? Our job is also something. How should I put it? Poetic about it. Hope you don't judge me too harshly. I don't take this as an insolence, but some people, even big people like you, think too highly of themselves. Let's say your ship hops into the warp someday and doesn't hop out of it in time, and around 1,000 years later, another gal like myself, who needs to feed her 3 ankle biters somehow, will be rifling through its remain looking for anything good. Nonsense. There are those who are great and those who are nothing. That is the nature thing. If you say so, Lordship, I'm a simple woman, living a simple life, having simple thoughts, and if it happened to blurt out some bunkum, that's just because I'm not that bright. I see. Lordship, please don't take it as insolence, but it's not like I have much choice. It's not often that we get well-stocked ships around here, and we could certainly use some provisions and some warm clothes. If it's something you would be willing to provide, we could gladly barter with you guys. Okay. Do I do that then outside of the ship? Okay. Looks like that was it. Let's move out again. It's just playing Wuchang. Interesting. How are you liking it? Just want to help my friend out as good as I can. That's fantastic. That's really cool. Offer necessary close to the colony. Rita thanks you. It'll be a while before the colony requires another shipment. Their needs are satisfied for now, and regardless... Dispatch a supply shuttle. Supply unless she can. Refuses the shipment. The colony needs are met at the present. Okay. Leave the colony. Good. If she says so. Who am I to comment on it? Warship management. Let's see, from newest to oldest. I got this battery gun. Short range, shooting 4 shots, dealing 21 damage. The other ones are long range, so makes no sense to change. This one shoots 5 plasma torpedoes, doing 19 damage. This one shoots 5 short burning plasma torpedoes with 19 damage. Okay. Firing range of lance weapons is reduced by 5, but the damage increased by 30%. Add to cargo. Add to cargo. That's 4 shots, dealing 21 damage. On short range. Okay. 605 scraps. Some wing run. So Master Cannoneer. Zoo. Shield Master. Pascal. It's definitely gonna be me. Master of Etherics. Warp Channeler. Master of Maneuvers. Okay. So we can upgrade Supreme Commander. Skill. That's it. Onwards to the big map. It's great. It's a bit similar to Wukong, but in core, I guess, and Souls-like game, right? We shall face them The crew receive gear. Simple as. Chart new routes. Let us explore Porta Septentum and see what the planets do we have for us. Scan over here. Nothing in there. We're gonna boost our profit factor quite a lot when we come back with all the reports for... What do we have here? Plastil 2. Let's do a quick save over here before we jump into the enemies of humanity. We should have now 2 flagships. So we should have a fleet of 3 ships in total. Fighting. Very curious about that. Hit a raid and run. You didn't raid and run. You were hanging out and checking some stuff with us. Get ready for a physical therapy appointment. Have a good one. If you need any insight in terms of physical therapy,
I'll be your beacon
let
in
me
the
know,
darkness.
because that is what I am, physical therapist. Iconoclast Destroyer.
Only our faith protects that part of the vessel now.
Many of them. You dummies! Why you shoot stuff that is standing next to me? Range. Let's keep on going like this. And shoot a broadside. Destroying the rest of the vessels. Really good. Right inside shield strengthens. And throw out some torpedoes on this side. And we should be good. We're shooting the Heartless. Comes the frigate. There's some warp anomalies happening. Nice shots. Can we deal with the fire somehow? Or do they remain? Internal fires. They seem to remain. See some shots. Completely destroyed. Torpedo maneuvering. So,
There is a gap in
shots.
their defenses.
I'm gonna shoot with the dorsal gun. Ooh, lovely. Moving a little bit forward. Another side shot. And keep on moving with the shield on this side. And that's it. Here comes the torpedo. Destroyed. Perfect. Perfect. Negating 7 points of damage. Yeah, that's scrap. Add to cargo. Solomon is such a badass. Love him. Let's jump in here. Scan. What's on the asteroid? Got anything out for us? Nope, nothing. Let's have a look at the warp gate. Lord Captain, we're passing a construct marked as the Starshot's dimensional gate. The device is dormant, thank the gods. I wish to study this construct. Lord Captain, I would advise against approaching the gates. What is it? An ancient Xeno artifact, older than humanity itself. Many captains, Her Ladyship Theodora included, have tried to reveal its secret, but it seems that no one could figure out how it works. Good for them, if you ask me. What was Theodora interested in? Her Ladyship didn't exactly share her plans with us, always kept close to her chest. But I'll go out on a limb and say she was searching for a way to open it. The Consignate fleet conducted its own analysis of the Xeno artifact. All records of the expedition to the site were added to the Explorator's catalog. Nasty in what way exactly? I don't want to repeat the rumors. I don't know the truth, but it was bad. There's word of the ships and even the whole trade convoys disappearing. Captain started avoiding the system until eventually the Lord Inquisitor came here to make short work of it. Ignore the construct. Okay. The Lord Inquisitor himself. Here. I guess he used the portal to jump over and prepare everything on the other side. Hello from the other side. Could make a connection. Or we could jump all the way back. Shut down. Move over here, even though it's dangerous. Did I still not check out this planet over here? Oh my god. Apparently we didn't. And it triggered also an anomaly in the warps that we have to fight off. Look at them plague creatures fighting. How amusing. Flies it forward. Okay, start a battle. Cassia. Where's Argenta? Argenta's over there. So please pull everything together over there.
Me? If you insist, Lord Captain.
That's good. They're gonna move over here and do a little bit of Eye of the Tiger. Jesus, did you just instantly kill all of it? Yeah. Yep, that's what she did. Argenta. Just take some wide shots.
Why I was chosen!
Exactly. Go for steady superiority. Shoot some more. Fantastic. So, let's put some fields down there. Let's put an over penetration over there.
To the heretics!
Death to the heretics. Nice.
Break them!
Well done. He healed himself. How intriguing. Run. So, captive audience.
I shall not fail.
Let's move up here. And a little bit of dancing. Okay. They want Blood Oath. And Raining Blood. Slam. And then when I jump over there. And then we're gonna grab where it hurts.
As honor ordains.
And kill him. Okay, there's more coming. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna paint reconnaissance. Oh, here we go. Death waltz through all of them. This will be so nasty. Let's go, Camilla.
Killing brings me no pleasure.
Let's go. So, let's jump in there in the middle. We're getting an AP or something. Not happening.
This goes against the tenets.
Should be the last one. Yeah. Well, I just single-handedly slaughtered everything. Nice. So we're jumping to this here, and we're gonna visit now the Orsellio prophecy. Was I not early in here? I was not, apparently. The hell? Standing twice on this, and they'd ignore it. Wow, we have plenty of scans to throw in to the Omnicon 22. It appears a large warship recently dumped a huge load of junk and faulty parts from the orbit. The debris that did not burn up in the atmosphere is now blocking the flow of mighty river. This dam is causing the river to overflow, flooding the nearby valley. A herd of large hoofed rodents has gathered along the riverbanks. If the animals lose their usual habitat, they're doomed. The Lord Captain orders the removal of the space debris. It takes many planetary turns and hundreds of crew members to remove the heap of trash, letting the waters flow freely once more. The rodents run back to their pastures without so much as a backward glance at the people who saved them. It's okay. Probably could have gathered provisions if we would have just ended them off. Another burning world. This time the fire comes from within the planet, the particular volcanic activity creating powerful cyclones of gases and ash clouds. Now that you know what to look for, your augurs easily locate traces of the mysterious underground constructions. Send seekers machines to explore the peculiar constructions. The operation is difficult but proceeds without a hitch. The machines make way to unusual constructions and return carrying priceless samples. Ceramite plating. And we get some pirates over that next fleet. There's one planet with some magnetic storm. I'm not 100% sure what to deal with it. In one of the beginning systems. No clue how to have my scanners go through them. My short little frigates. So is it just one ship or two? It's just one ship, okay. So big bada boom. They're fleeing already.
Smite the enemies of humanity!
Let's get over here. There we go. Torpedoes go into torpedoes, and we got it. Did we make a rank up with the ship? I think so. I think so. Oh, we did not. Interesting. Thought we had a level up. My bad then. Upgrade the hull. So, let's see what they were protecting, or were they just hovering over nothing, the space and area. 5 Promethium, we have 16. Don't need more. We do not need more. It's totally fine what we have so far. So... from here we're gonna jump back and then to these Tenebris whatsoever. Warp travel. Make sure the contamination is not just a mere illusion. There we go. We nearly would have burned a little bit of our livestock or provisions. Give the crew weaponry to deal with whatever's going on. I don't need more at the moment. What do I need? Don't need more. Kinnigan. Need to be a little bit more specific. Looks like either Aldari or Drukhari ships up ahead. The planet is devoid in even most primitive form of life. However, the crew has made a quite strange discovery. A mirror lying right in the center. A completely ordinary mirror in a frame, but all appearances in pristine condition. Destroyed. The crew blasts the crater, raising a cloud of dust. Confirming the mirror's destruction is impossible for the time being, but it could not have survived such a powerful explosion. Definitely not. A mirror! In the middle of a crater. Yeah, definitely something we don't want to judge, I think. Although the Drukhari have blocked some of the flagship's posts using unknown Zenith powers. That's okay. That is okay. I'm gonna shred in bits. So... 32%. Perfect. Dorsal gun.
With the force of a supernova!
There we go. Ship destroyed. Where's another one? Oh, coming from behind. Let's twist around. And that's that. Nice shots there. Nice one, Heartless. Oh, Promethium, we don't need more. Yeah. With plenty. That is true. We have plenty of Promethium. Is there anything that I can give Promethium? No. Only people. They want people. Begin to scan. Plasteel 2. I mean, technically I need plasteel, but for 2, I'm not sure I want to put down an extractor. Is it 5 or something, then yeah. No signs of being crewed. Send out a boarding shuttle then. Squad boarded vessel without issue. Corrosion has laid waste to the ship's system. There's Aldari corpses everywhere. Still sad on the not so dogmatic run where we had Iliath with us that we did not manage to help her properly. Mysterious sickness struck the clan living in the macro-cannon chambers. The disease quickly spread. But we managed to maintain. Okay, very good. Let's visit here. I think the Frozen Prince is something for later. If I'm not mistaken, there's where some Chaos Marines are, and a Dreadnought as well. It's definitely something to go when you're around level 40 or something. Prometheum again? Why so much? Another scan. Sanction's Bride are oozing noxious haze vein with sulfurous streaks. It's hard to tell what's more impressive, the grotesque grandeur of this place or its extreme toxicity. Oh, toxicity. Begin the scans. Adamantine 2. I'll grab that. I'll grab that. So, I wonder if I see this sector. Got Ember Scourge. Condulus Valentius. Calixis. I'm looking for the Calixis sector. Omicron. Continental Star. Cradle of Camphi. Furibundus. Cauldron. Founding World. Can we see it on this map? Winterskill's Realm. Does not look like it. Spoils of Prudence. Magnetic Storm. So, on to Cronach. Chart new places. Visit. Lord Captain, according to telemetry, we are in the system of Galba Galba to maintain industrial word of the Valences dynasty. But wait, Lord Captain, a new report. Galba Galba is sending a request of exchange data. Should we accept? Ignore the transmission. As you command, Lord Captain. Lord Captain, we ignore the transmission as you ordered, but the Vox system has detected a dozen more incoming requests. The number has grown every second, and each one is becoming more insistent and stronger. I think I hear something. Lord Captain, interference detected on the compartment's Vox system. Looks like the bridge is cut off from the rest of the void ship. Oh boy. The void ship bridge sounds working conjugators and officers' footsteps. The everyday scene is interrupted by an ear-splitting beeping sound, followed by lumens going out. In the dim glow of candles and emergency lights, one of the officers' frame cries out. Another falls to their knees, clutching her head. Over the beeping of the Vox's shout can only just be heard. What's going on? The doors are locked. We lost contact with the compartments. One of the bridge officers turns to the throne. Lord Captain, the Vox stations are malfunctioning and overloading the system. None of our outgoing transmissions are getting through. The incoming ones, the one that makes us distorted beyond the interpretation. The Lord Captain gives the order to decipher the incoming box transmissions at all costs, continue sending orders from the bridge, and request status updates from other compartments. So I've always wanted to know, why Rogue Trader? Wouldn't a Bard Trader be better? Not in this universe, Terrestrial. Not in this universe. How you doing, by the way? How you doing, buddy? Continue sending orders of the bridge to request status updates of the other compartments. The officer salutes and hurries over to the bridge Vox system. The Vox master, who's leaning on the station, moments later, a cry of surprise. Lord Captain, our transmissions are being distorted as we speak. Depressurizing the lower base, execute the depths of the machine cult, disable the life support systems. If even one command gets out. Assign officers to all control systems to execute manual transmission override and send orders to other compartments on paper. Look at that picture. That is so eerie. The Rogue Trader gathers the senior officers and assign each to one of the ship control systems. One monitor the comm line, another prepares written orders. The Vox Master unit sets up an internal communication system via comm heads. The crew efforts are expedient, well coordinated. Within moments, server skulls carrying instructions from Lord Captain are divided into the ventilation shafts and vanishing into the gloom. Scrap code. The voice belongs to the one deck engineer who has turned the Lord Captains from his station. We've been attacked with scrap code, the tech heresy designed to corrupt machines. The transmission received from the planet was infected with this taint, and is now running through the ship's veins. Omnibusire preserve us. The Voidborn officers appears before the Lord Captain once more. Whatever it is that's attacking us, we have the backup procedure that can circumvent the Vox barrier. In the atrium leading to the bridge, there is a terminal for an isolated system that might still be on if a loud pop, the pipes over the officer's head burst, and the blast of hot air flings the Voidborn away from the Lord Captain. His body slamming straight through the conjugator panel, the picked frame spins uncontrollably. The servo skull was jolted by the gust. The picked recorder fogs over, the Vox picking up the crackling of electricity and death cry. Gas on the bridge, a junior attendant shouts and instantly doubles over, inhaling the poisoning air. The Rogue Trader. Runs for his life from the bridge, commands the crew to carry on with their duties until the very last. Heedless to the gas spreading over the deck, the officers continue the flurry of work at their station, executing the orders issued by the Lord Captain. Even the doors of the bridge are open. The crew carries on for as long as they can. Last to leave the bridge, the Lord Captain runs out, coughing heavily. Leaning on a support beam, the Rogue Trader takes several deep breaths, trying to flush his lungs with air. Then he straightens, smooths his uniform, and heads towards the goal known only to him. The servo skull follows. The atrium is in a state of panic. Silhouettes skitter in the dark hall, illuminating only by the flickering of emergency lumens. Curt orders and someone's feverish words of prayer can be heard. Having lost all communication, the beheaded ship is within agony. It takes a while for the Lord Captain to find the conjugator mentioned by the fallen officer. The panel of the isolated terminal is riddled with cracks and bloodstains. On the floor by the terminal, a tech priest is lying in a heap, with his head smashed, the technical liquids mixed with blood oozing out of his ports. The Lord Captain decides too. This looks so badass. Take his chances with sorting the terminal. Tech use succeeded. The Rogue Trader rips the power key off the tech priest. The mech can right open the cover of the terminal. Sparks fly into his face, but his confidence as his manipulation of the tangled wires and clanging levers. After replacing the cover and ensuring that the system is restored, the Lord Captain brings up the required data on the screen. Thanks to the Rogue Trader's efforts and the sacrifice of the senior bridge officer, the rest of the ship's compartments were able to suppress the panic and deal with the raging machine spirit with few casualties, no critical reports. The walk to the bridge is uneventful. The crisis has passed. Although wounded and crippled, the ship nevertheless is returning to its normal operation. The bridge resembles a battlefield. The floor is strewed with corpses and conjugators are damaged, and the people inside are barely standing. Healers in masks are bagging up pale corpses. Technomans are hastily patching up ruptured pipes, and surviving officers are trying to get the remaining conjugators back up and running. By the comm station, the rogue trader runs into the Vox Master. Praise the Emperor, you're in one piece, Lord Captain. The situation on board is satisfactory. Was just in the middle of setting up comm channels. Soon all the Vox casters will be fully functional. Another man appears in the picked frame, a junior officer completely out of breath, carrying a heap of scrolls. The Vox Master nods at him. Ah, here the report, Lord Captain. If you find yourself able to return to your station, I can immediately give you a rundown of the state of affairs of the ship. End of picked recording. Lord Captain, the situation has been brought under control, more or less. It will take some time to eliminate the consequences of the attack completely, but the vessel is capable of motion. The bridge suffering heavy loss, many of the officers responsible for key systems perished during the attack. The consequences for the vessel are most grievous. Kiavagama went silent after transmitting the Halfam signal. I will refrain from sending inquiries to the industrial world to avoid a second attack. The time has come to remind you about your agreement. I must be present in your entourage during the expedition on Kiavagama. I'm counting on your cooperation. The crew is awaiting further instructions, Lord Captain. Ooh. Kiavagama awaits. So, checking out that. Getting a scan over here. What do we have here? The dwarf planet is marked on the Van Valence's Protectorate chart as Atl, and serves as a backup source of water for the habitable worlds of neighboring systems. Contact the Extractorium box station. The Extractorium turns out to be Insenius Jorda's latest investment, whose domains is located just within the jumps from the Kranach system. While this world is of little value to the Von Valence's dynasty, your officers see this gesture as an attempt to test the boundaries of the newly minted rogue trader's leniency. The rogue trader decides to keep the Extractorium for himself with all the workers and servitors. The people easily assume control of the frightened workers, and take token security crew do not invent or attempt resist. Last till 3. Okay. Well, we've dealt some justice. We've explored further of the map. We've now find our pathway finally to Kiavagama. And we gotta see what kind of tech heresy is going on this planet. Bringing in Heinrichs with us because he wants to. And proceed with reclaiming our nationally order and power within the Von Valence's dynasty. Very curious how the journey will go on. If you're watching this later on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and help us, spread some love and keep up the series. With that said, I'll thank you for joining, and I'll see you in the next